Hello and welcome to the Hooniverse and to a brand new video. Now, time is a delicate thing. The wrong action at the wrong time can cause all sorts of problems. And now when the Time Lords discovered time travel and started embarking on adventures in TARDISes through the time vortex, they did everything they could to obey the laws of time. But say someone lived who was supposed to die. Say you met yourself. Well, then time would start to stress, a mess that needed cleaning. Now, usually the Time Lords would tidy up the splattering mess on the space-time continuum, but then one day they vanished from the universe at the end of the last Great Time War, and as a result, one species took advantage. In the depths of the time vortex, flying gargoyle-like beings with red eyes, 2 wings, 2 claws below their powerful wings, that could break through stone, mouths on their chest, tails that remembered a scythe, and a dark brown, tough, scaly skin were born. The Reapers are temporal predators, acting like bacteria devouring inside an open wound. If time is wounded, then they appear, and as their name suggests, they are anything but friendly. This is the history of the Reapers. Now, due to their time-travelling nature as a species that don't really appear to have any ranks or notable individuals, we're going to follow the Reapers' timeline relative to that of the universe. Firstly, a Reaper could be seen in the vortex as Raymond Salamander, a human with a freakishly close resemblance to the Second Doctor, was flung through the time vortex after battling the Time Lord, a Reaper swimming like a shark, waiting for the scent of a paradox. Soon enough there was one, as the Fourth Doctor theorised his TARDIS had travelled closely to another, so there was a temporal backwash, resulting in the Reapers descending, unable to enter the TARDIS while in flight, but if the ship landed, they would burst through the doors and consume the cause of the paradox. However, it turns out instead of a passing TARDIS that it was in fact the Carrionites, Lilith and Mother Bloodtide and Doomfinger, who had tried to escape from their imprisonment and attempted to kill Sarah Jane. Their escape plan revolved around plenty of temporally sensitive spells, cracking the crystal ball from the past and not the present, which would be the 10th Doctor's TARDIS. The 4th Doctor landed the TARDIS in the Scottish Highlands, and the Reapers entered the Time Lord's ship, killing the Carrionites and returning back to their patrol of the time vortex. Now, it was later on that the 10th, 11th and 12th Doctors all arrived in Paris 1923 at the same cafe, where a small fight broke out between them, and 2 of them accidentally crossed fingers. This resulted in a blast of temporal energy known as the Blinovitch limitation effect, which alerted the Reapers to the paradox. The Reapers entered the cafe from the time vortex and began attacking the 3 Doctors and their companions. The Reapers took a strong interest in the 11th Doctor over the others and began chasing after him as the cafe collapsed. Running through the square, he led them past a comic stand which he had visited earlier and to one of the TARDISes parked in the city. The TARDIS had already been disconnected from its interior by the Reapers in an attempt to ensure their prey didn't escape. However, the Doctors were extremely clever. Using the Blinovitch effect once more, the 3 Doctors were able to connect the TARDIS shell to the 12th Doctor's TARDIS control room. The Reapers were then able to break into the TARDIS, and the Doctors began leading the Reapers in between the different TARDIS console rooms, dematerialising the ship once they were all inside. This moved them into the vortex again, meaning that they would either have to leave or die. Now, the Doctor has had run-ins with the Reapers before, but has always had the distraction of other enemies or forces of evil at work, be it dictators, witches from the Dark Times, or even themselves from alternate timelines. But that changed in 1987 when the 9th Doctor brought Rose Tyler to see the day her dad died at her request. However, she saved her father, Pete Tyler, when he was supposed to die in a car accident. She missed the attempt during her first visit, so the Doctor took her back again. He warned her not to interact with her past self, but she ignored this warning when she saved her father. A wound in time was created by her intervention, and thus the Reapers were able to enter the universe and begin sterilising the wound by feeding on humans inside it. The Doctor and a handful of survivors managed to take refuge in an old church, where he planned to bring his TARDIS to them. Unfortunately, Rose touched her infant self, allowing a Reaper to enter the church, devour the Doctor, and disrupt the TARDIS. The Reapers were expelled from the universe again when Pete restored the timeline by jumping in front of the car which should have killed him. The Doctor was brought back and the world continued to turn as time moved forward, as it should. Pete Tyler's death was known to UNIT as a temporal event. They had a file 1987-11-BE3A on the incident, documenting a cluster of reported anomalies, sightings of flying beasts and missing people. This was mentioned on a secure operations board on the UNIT website in 2006, following Rose's travels with the Doctor. Since this event, the Reapers have been seen one last time at the Bootstrap Expanse during the 24th of May 9100, but otherwise remained elusive. Will we see the Reapers again? It's hard to say, but one thing we know for sure is these indestructible time-travelling parasites will be waiting for the second time goes wrong, and with the Time Lords lost once more, there's only one left to stand in their way. Thank you very much for watching this quick video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, give it a like, comment your thoughts, and of course subscribe to see more Doctor Who content from History of Who to theories and reviews. And if you love the 2005 series that aired 20 years ago, then be sure to check out the histories of the Autons, Cassandra, the Gelfs, Levine and the Metaltron Daleks. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.